In this lesson, I'll show you how to find the Laplace transform of a function. This is question number 1. The question reads, find the Laplace transform of y is equal to f of t is equal to 1. So our function of time, which is represented right here, is equal to 1. What we will do is place f of t, its content, into the following, where I have capital L, which represents the Laplace transform, of 1 is equal to the expression on the right, which is the integral between 0 and positive infinity for our function 1 times e to the power of negative st dt. Let's go ahead and find out the integral on the right side. The first thing that I'll do to find the integral of e to the power of negative st, because this 1 doesn't matter, a coefficient of 1 doesn't do anything, we have negative st will be replaced with u. And I'll differentiate this implicitly with respect to t. This gives me du on the right side, and on the left side we have negative s dt. Solving now for dt, because I want to eventually replace this, we end up with dt is equal to du over negative s. So we have the Laplace transform at 1 is equal to the integral for e to the power of u, and this being replaced with du over negative s. The next thing that I'll do is pull out 1 over negative s, that's a constant here, outside of the integral, where I have 1 over negative s times the integral between 0 and infinity, e to the power of u du. Finding the integral of e to the power of u is easy. In fact, it's the same thing. We have 1 over negative s, square bracket, e to the power of u, now evaluated at infinity, which is impossible to do since this is an improper integral. So I will next replace the infinity with an arbitrary letter. Let's call it w. And instead of evaluating it at infinity, I'll take the limit as t approaches w. So I have negative 1 over s for the limit as t approaches w for our function e to the power of, and instead of this u, of course, I can replace it back with what I set it as, which was negative st, minus e to the power of negative s evaluated at 0, our lower bound. Let's start by doing the easier of the two. E to the power of 0 is 1. So we have negative 1. This becomes negative 1. And over here, if I take the limit where t approaches infinity, or w, so this becomes w, or think of it as infinity, we'll have e to the power of a very large negative number. That will end up giving us a number that's close to 0. So this all goes to 0. So we have negative 1 over s times negative 1, because we can disregard that, and we have 1 over s. So the Laplace transform of this function, which was at 1, is equal to 1 over s, and remember, s stands for the frequency. So this represents the answer to question number 1, and that is how to find the Laplace transform of a function.